Welcome back to Crafts by KMW. Thank you so much for clicking on this video to watch it. I truly appreciate it, and I hope you will enjoy it. So before I get started, I would like to just say, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. It will truly help me with the algorithm and to grow my channel. I truly appreciate all of your support. So today I am going to review and test my newest set of colored pencils. So this is a small set, a set of 36 from Tombow. So the reason I bought these is because I have one set that I have been using when I take my coloring outside of my house. So when I travel with my coloring. And they are the Spectrum Noir Color Blend pencils. I don't like them. I have never liked them. I've had them for many, many years. They were the first set of colored pencils I ever bought when I first started coloring in like the early 2000s. And I think they are Spectrum Noir's first go at colored pencils. I do believe that they have better colored pencils now. I hear a lot of people or read about people who use them nowadays, and they're much better quality, but these are not. They are very much like Crayola. They are soft, but they are not blendable. They don't layer well. They sharpen horribly. They are just broken all through. Every time I sharpen one, it takes me 5 or 6 sharpens to be able to actually use the pencil again. A lot of them are like practically nubs now because I've just had to sharpen in order to be able to use it. And they just are not very good pencils. They are very waxy, and I just decided that I've had enough of using awful pencils. So I decided that I wanted to get another set. My parameters were that I wanted a small set. I wanted to spend less than $20, and I wanted to get as good, as high quality of pencils as I could possibly get. I was going to be buying some things from Target anyway, Target.com. So I checked it out and I found this set. So this set is $18.19 on Target's website. I don't know if you could find them any cheaper, but I actually got 5% off of that because I have a Target charge. So they were $17 and change for me, which I thought was pretty good. Tombow is a good brand of art supplies. They are well known for their markers. I don't think they're as known for their colored pencils, but they are known to make good markers. I have one set of their markers. I have their water-based skin tone set. I think there's 10 different colors in there. The thin markers, they're brushed on one side, and I think just a small tip on the other side. I do like them. So I decided when I saw these that I would give their colored pencils a shot. So on the listing, it says that these are their 1500 series. I don't know what that means. It must be a way for them to categorize the different types of pencils they have. It says that they have strong pigments, or that they're very pigmented. They are artist grade pencils. They are wax based. They have hard leads, so they won't break as much when you're sharpening, and you won't need to sharpen them as often. They have a 1mm point, so they're just a regular pencil size. They are imported, which is pretty clear once we look inside the tin. They have hard, I think I already said hard leads. They have a centered core for less breakage. So that means that if you drop it, hopefully they will not crack up all inside, so you won't be able to sharpen them. And the outside of the pencil matches the pencil lead very well. These have 8 reviews on Target, and the average is 4.9 out of 5 stars, which I think is excellent. I see very, very few products that have that good of an average for their reviews. Now, granted, there's only 8 people that reviewed these, but that is still really good. And that was another reason why I decided to go with these. And it only has 4 and 5 star reviews. No one has rated these pencils less than 4 stars, which again, I think is excellent. So they come in a tin, which is what I wanted for easy carrying. I do make sure that I put these flat in the bottom of my bag, so I do not carry them like this. I make sure that they are flat. And the tin is decent. It's a little wobbly with the pencils in them, but not bad. It's actually a pretty high quality tin. There's nothing on the back. It's just plain tin. And one thing I do like about this is that it gives you some push guides. So all you do is push, and then the front of the tin pops open so you can open the tin easily. I really like that because with some other tins, I have really struggled with trying to open them up. So here's the inside of the lid. And I'm sorry about the glare. It's later at night, so I need to have my lights on. So it gives you the names of all of the pencils. And there are some information here, but I can't read it. It's written in either Chinese or Japanese or some other Asian language, and I'm not aware of. The order of the pencils on here is the order that they were in the tin. I did move them around a bit because I didn't like the placement of some of them. They had the peacock blue situated in the middle of the greens. So I decided to move that next to the blues because I knew that if it was there, I probably would forget about it and not use it. And then they had the light orange like over here, not next to the orange. And I thought that was kind of silly. I wanted the oranges together. And I also moved the vermilion over to be closer to the oranges. Vermilion is kind of like a reddish orange, so it could go either way. So I wanted those together. So the pencils are just a regular sized pencil. Let me take one out and show you. So on the one side, it has printed monograph, color, pencil, has the butterfly symbol for Tombow, and then 1500, which is a 1500 series. Then on the other side, it has the color number. This is 25. And then it has a barcode. I'm wondering if these are sold singly. I'm not sure. They might be. That would be kind of cool. So if I like these, I can buy some more. I can replace colors that I use up, or I can add some more to my collection. So I'll have to check that out. Let me know if you know that answer. Let me know. So there are, let's see, 7 blues, 6 greens, 3 browns, 3 yellows, a white, 3 oranges. I'm counting the vermilion in with that. 3 reds, 2 pinks, and I'm counting the magenta in with the pink. I consider magenta to be a pink. There are 4 purples, 1 gray, a black, and a silver and a gold. I was a little disappointed to see only 1 gray. I really like to use grays for shadows and just different areas that I want to darken. So I'm a little disappointed there's only 1 gray, but I can always just pull out some Prismacolors. There's a bunch of grays in Prismacolor, so it's not a deal breaker for me. So now we will get to how the pencils work. So I've used a couple of them. You can see I actually sharpened the gray one, and it sharpened really nicely. I had no problems using it in my electric sharpener, and I did use the silver and the gold, and they are actually really nice. I was surprised because most silver and gold pencils are garbage. Like, you can really just take them and throw them out. Metallic colored pencils are usually not good, even by the top brands like Prismacolor. Their metallic pencils are just okay. They're not really that great. I would say these are pretty decent. They have a sheen to them. They glitter a little bit. They do work. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that because there's a little finessing with using these that I only found out about once I started coloring with them. So I'll tell you about that when I show you how they look in the book. But they do, the leads are hard. When you first use the pencil after sharpening or right out of the tin, it is a little scratchy. So you kind of have to go over it and over it and over it to fill it in until you wear the lead down a little bit, and then it's much smoother. They seem to sharpen great. That they were packaged well. They came by themselves in a really thick padded envelope, and the tin was wrapped in cellophane. So I felt like the packaging was good, and I don't sense right now that any of the pencils are broken inside. We'll see. I've only sharpened one so far, just the gray, and it sharpened perfectly on the first try. So I do feel like these are pretty pigmented. I do feel like they layer pretty well. They do seem to blend. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I show you what I've colored with them so far. I blend not only to blend colors, but I also blend one color to get rid of all of the white, to burnish. And it does work pretty well to do that. I will say the white pencil doesn't really work well at all. I will definitely be sticking with my Prismacolor white. I usually take a Prismacolor white and a Prismacolor blender with me everywhere I go when I'm going to be coloring. So I will continue to do that. I don't see this white being a very good one at all. But otherwise, I think the colors do match the lead. So I was quite surprised with that, or delighted by that it definitely, what you see on the pencil is what you get on the lead and is what you get on the paper. So I was really happy with that. I do wish the names of the pencils, the color names, were printed on the pencil rather than just a number, but it's such a small set. I don't think I really need to know the name of the pencil. And if I do, I can look up here. And again, there's so few colors that I should be able to very readily identify any of the pencils. So I don't think that's a problem. So far with that, I really liked them. So I have been starting to color with them, and I've been using Tales from the Witch's Cottage. I feel like it's, the spooky season, so I should be coloring in at least one kind of spooky book. So let me show you what I've colored with them so far. So I colored this, and they work really well. Like I said, they're a little scratchy when you first use them after sharpening or right out of the tin, but once you wear that down a little bit, they are fine. They are, to me, sort of in the middle of the hardest pencils I've ever used, and then the softest pencil I've ever used, which would be Prismacolor. They are kind of soft. So I used multiple layers of the green on this bottle, and it did take the layers very well. It did take blending very well. I did quite a bit of blending because I wanted to get this to look as smooth as possible before I cover it with either the clear glazed pen or nail polish to make it look more like glass. But I liked it. I liked them so far. So I'm working on, okay, so I did, I did this page, and the flowers are totally colored in the Tombow pencils. And again, they worked really well for blending. As you can see, I used pretty much every shade of green on the leaves. And then when I blended them, they blended pretty well. I did some blending on the flowers as well. I used the darker purple, I used the lavender, and then I used a little bit of magenta. And I think this is the Van Dyke Brown on the stems, if I'm not mistaken, and the ribbon is the deepest purple. So again, really liked these, how they worked. I was able to color everything without having to sharpen anything. The only pencil I had to sharpen after I colored this page was the gray. And I did use the gray for some shadows. I did add the gray on top of the metallic watercolor paints, and it did work pretty well. I wanted it to be very subtle. You can't really see the shadows really well, and that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to be very subtle. So the pencils do color on top of like metallic watercolor or some kind of paint, which is good to know. So I also am working on this flower. I'm using the light orange, the orange, and the vermilion so far. Again, I just added the different colors and have blended. They work pretty well. It does look a little grayish, not because of the colored pencils, but because some of the ink comes off when you use the colorless blender. I think that's just something that happens in Hannah Carlson's books. I've experienced it with every book that I've had of hers. So I'm just gonna be adding some more of the light orange back on there to kind of hide that gray. But working really, really nice. And then I don't know if I have one more. I did start this little mushroom here with the red. That's about all. And you can see how it's a little bit scratchy. Excuse me. Again, I just started. This was the first thing I colored with the red, and you can see the scratchiness here. So again, they are hard leads. It just takes a little bit to round that out so it's a little bit softer and you don't get those scratches as you color. So overall, I would recommend these. I think they are a fantastic price. They're from a pretty reputable company that makes good art supplies. So they seem to sharpen well. They were packaged well. It seems to be a nice range of colors for 36 pencils. The gold and the silver work well. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to show you the silver. Hold on a second. I didn't focus on that at all. Okay, so this is, I used the silver in here and the gray. So one thing I learned about the silver pencil is that when you first use it, so this is the silver pencil used that is not blended. So I hope you can see that it does have a sheen to it. It does look metallic-y. Everything else I blended and it basically turns into gray. And I was so disappointed. I would assume that that's going to be the same thing with the gold, that it will turn into kind of like a brownish, just flat, no metallic, no luster, nothing. And I was like, oh, that's not good. Because I was so happy when I saw it, when I first colored it. I was like, yes, that looks like metallic silver. But then when you blend it, it turns into just a regular pencil. So what I did here to try to salvage it is after I blended it, I went back over it with the silver pencil, and then I just left it alone. Some of the sheen came back, not much. It's definitely not as metallic as this space down here, but I did sort of save it. So now I will know not to blend the silver and the gold. When you put it down, just burnish it with the pencil, with layering, and don't blend it, and then it will look more metallic. So that's just one little tip I wanted to pass on to you. But otherwise, I think the silver looks great. I just didn't expect it to change when I blended it. So now I am done. So again, overall, I would recommend these pencils. I think they're a great little set. I will be really happy to use them when I take my coloring out of the home. And I'm not sure I'll use them in place of my Prismacolors or my Brutfuners, but I definitely will use them when I am coloring elsewhere. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Let me know if you have these pencils or if you're in the market for another set of pencils and what you think of these. I would love to know. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, and of course, a very crafty day as well.